So I've been, uh, how do we put this nicely? I've had some people think that I'm trying to attack Twin Paranormal with this. Um, I'm not trying to attack, honestly, either side on this one. I think Side Eye Guy does some decent information hunting, and I think Twin Paranormal went into this only seeking what the owner knows about the property. To which case, in this particular instance, the owner is not a pretty reliable guy. Um, at least it's been shown so far, as I've seen in the evidence that Side Eye Guy has been able to bring up, that he took the twins for a ride. Definitely for sure. I understand Side Eye Guy doesn't care for their humor. It took me a little while to get past it too. I'm mostly there usually just to see what the ghost hunt looks like. Um, so I can understand some people not caring for the sense of humor. It's YouTube humor. It's whatever for younger people, etc., etc. But in this particular instance, one of the things I can agree with him on is that there's a lot of information that doesn't make sense, and I think a lot of that. I think a lot of that is technically based on the fact, and let me speed up here, is that the owner is quite the rambler. May also first also bring up this since Jake Arts brought it up too. This is kind of a shameful display. Not so. Again, I don't want to blame Twin Peril too much for that, but they did kind of word it really poorly. This guy basically is pointing out to the twins that this guy is shady and has been called out for being a likely liar. And they basically went, how does that make it our fault? Well, guys, technically you should have done a little bit of research because there's a lot of stuff apparently that came out about this guy after Paranormal Files came out. But he wasn't even blaming you in the post, though. He was very much just calling out, hey guys, just to let you know, he's kind of been put on blast online for being a scammer. It's disappointing that you got pulled into this, but it is what it is, kind of a deal. But then the diehard fans start just putting this poor Shaz guy on blast, and that's a little BS. Twins, I don't know if you ever did or not, but you should have kind of stepped in and gone, hey, no, calm down. He's not calling us out. He is calling out the owner who has said some really weird stuff that doesn't quite make sense. Because, again, in the video, they have to constantly, almost repeatedly, over and over again, say that's rumor, it's hearsay, supposedly, rumor has it, kind of stuff. And yeah, it's kind of one of those things. And yeah, and the twins had to literally start the video with that. I thought that was an addition after this post blew up, but apparently that was a thing that they launched the video with, which is already kind of not the best sign, if you will. But I'm going to try and page through here really quickly. Jake Arts pulled it up. Good on him. And I agree with him that he shouldn't have gotten put on blast the way he was. That was unnecessary. He was just calling out, hey, this guy, be careful with this guy. He's not that trustworthy. And I think part of the reason to begin with that this guy kind of gets away with some of the stuff he does when you're meeting him in person and going through some of this stuff. Let me pull him up because the way this guy goes is pretty wild. Actually, did we already speed past it already? Yeah, right here.
Real quickly, this is our haunted doll collection. They're always being thrown. This is Dirty Gertie. This is what Dirty Gertie does. These are our dolls, haunted dolls. This doll is from the Nuremberg trials. This is the Dirty Gertie is from my grandfather was.
Just again, how quickly he's just going from one thing to the next to the next to the next. It's a wild ramble. It's hard to keep up with. And again, you have to try and take in as much of that as you can to understand what's supposedly going on in this place. To which you can only shrug and kind of go, well, I guess whatever sticks, but If we don't get any info on it, we can't say that it's for sure a thing, you know? But yeah, the way he just kind of goes on and on and on and on like that. He's like that speed the entire time you talk to him, so it's kind of wild to keep up with. Let's see here. So paging through this quickly, because again, he brings up some decent points here. Oh, so here's one of the big things that the owner claims, which has been proven wrong. Supposedly where the house is located is supposed to be on top of a cemetery. The problem is the cemetery is up the north end of the town, at least according to what this map looks like. They're nowhere near that block. Like, let me still check here.
Cemetery, as every numbered block of Atchison City, and each block is numbered. 1322 Maple Street is on block 40. Block 56, as you can see, is right next to the cemetery.
Right
now,
over there.
if we fast forward here to the more recent city map, we can see that where block 56 was is now, in fact, the cemetery, as every numbered block from left to right of the cemetery is in the sequence of 55, 54, 53, so on. So block 56 no longer exists because it is part of the cemetery that expanded from.
So, yeah, that's one of those quick rambling lies that I don't know if the owner is just poorly understanding what's going on, how things have changed in the town, or if he's willfully trying to play ignorant and is blowing things out of proportion. But he continues to blast this story out that apparently the house was built where the graveyard is, even though that's not how this is built, not where it's located, nothing of the sort. And I mean, that's one of his bigger claims, which also leads to what he's talking about in the basement. I'm not sure. It actually looks like, yeah, the basement's the next thing. So here's another big thing. He continues to go on about how they think they have found landmarkers and stuff where bodies might be in the basement. He has yet to bring in pay for a detection dog to come in there and sniff out any bodies, which even if it's an old body, these dogs are trained to find it. I don't know what's taking so long. Maybe it's been delayed because, again, he's been kind of put on blast from what I understand online. I'm not part of it. I've not really looked into it, but it's a thing I've heard. And after the Paranormal Files video, he's been kind of getting lambasted a lot online from what I understand. Again, from what I understand. And I don't think the twins have done much to help that. I will say both cases, they seem to find something in the house. At least there seems to be hints and tidbits that lead me to believe that there might be something in the house because too much happens all at once. But I have other questions, and I don't believe everything that's gotten caught in this is all true. At least I have worries that unknowingly the twins have been tricked or lied to. Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, he starts talking about how he was scratched that day, and he points to like 3, 4, 5 places on his body where he says he's been scratched. And it's like, today? If you're getting scratched that much by stuff in this house, why are you even here? Are you just asking to get attacked again? Also, we don't really get a chance to even really look at them. He just starts pointing and then just moves on. It's really weird behavior. And really kind of sketchy. As a matter of fact, we'll even show you that real quick here. Let me rewind it a moment.
Or am I right?
Here, back of my leg here, and it will scratch you on a regular basis.
Oh my god, bro! Steve got scratched! Be careful, Twin Paranormal! And stay safe!
So Steve got scratched 3 times. 3 bloody times, but the camera doesn't pick up any of these scratches?
Yeah.
No stills or close-up of these scratches?
Nope.
Steve just says these words and idiots just blindly believe it.
So scary!
Again, my belief is that he just rambles so dang fast you can't really keep up with him to even double-check scratches on his body. Because, again, he brings up all these scratches, but it's like, those all happened today? What? Hello? And again, you can't even see it. It's very strange. Not sure what's going on in this one here. Oh yeah, the whole doll thing. Apparently, people have been picking up weird things around the doll. I'm not sure how much it's real or not. But they very much try. I think it's his name, Steve. They just mentioned he basically is trying to pass off this doll that he calls Dirty Gertie as basically like the new Annabelle, and it doesn't work. It seems a little over the top because he keeps claiming there's a whole bunch of things, including demon possession and everything else going on with the thing. It's a little wild and out there, and just again compiled. Just a whole lot of stuff all at once. It's like, what? And here's another thing. This seems a little out of nowhere too. Apparently, this is a new something else that's new to the house because it wasn't a story the last time I heard things on Paranormal Files.
The one that had the 12, and that guy right with there, that picture we have, is 12 and a half feet off the ground. That guy was looking in there. I'll show you that picture I've got.
Yeah,
right there, he was looking at that was a guy.
You mean that reflection? That very obvious reflection from the glass window. You're aware glass reflects, right? Or the shape is a much taller fella than I thought. But seriously, Steve now claiming a Bigfoot type creature is stalking the house is amazing to me. He somehow found a new level of stupid for his stupid fucking house with all its stupid claims. Well done, Steve. Well done. You have managed to somehow surprise me with a new level of stupid. Well done.
I don't think he's trying to claim it to be a Bigfoot, but it is really weird, and it's not a very clear picture, so it very easily could be somebody's reflection and an accident, or again, could be, it's Steve again? My brain just cannot retain his name like a goldfish right now.
Fucking house with all its stupid claims. Well done, Steve.
Yes, it is Steve. Yeah, like I said, my brain is kind of goldfishing and can't quite remember all the stuff that this guy says or what his name even is because it just, again, goes by so fast and my brain's just trying to keep up. But yeah, I don't know that he's trying to claim it's a Bigfoot, but it is pretty weird, and I don't think that image is clear enough to say anything for sure.
Pretty much in the middle of Atchison City, a built-up area. So why has nobody else seen this thing wandering around? You know, whenever you hear Bigfoot stories, where's the one place that nobody's ever stupid enough to claim Bigfoot is? A fucking city!
Trying to figure out where the other claims are really quick. And again, I'm just trying to pile drive through this so we're not like taking whole hog from Side Eye Guy. Again, the research, jokes and everything else aside, the research here is what I'm really interested in, and wow, a lot of it kind of gets blasted out of the water. And very easily, it would seem. Here he claims that they've obviously edited the word list for their Spirit app. I don't know for sure. It's very likely they added just so there's a chance that it comes up in case something actually is trying to talk to them. But I don't know for sure. It's an assumption, but it's an assumption I can't say for sure unless I literally had their phone in my hands and went through the list. And even then, I can't guarantee that they did something to the app so it would come up more often or not either, because you never know. It could just literally be that because it's been added to the list properly, it comes up more often. I don't know.
Instantly. What is that, though? Is it knocking or is it footsteps?
Yeah, are they walking around or are they answering us?
Or is it just noises
And that's my problem with a lot of noises, and like especially old houses too, is I don't know for sure if that's steps, if that's just house noises. It depends upon how much people are moving, if the house is like known for settling a lot after you stop moving, etc. It's just hard to say. Calls out their names. This is where he's calling out that list thing again.
What is that noise? The alarm. The alarm's going off, dude. Turn it off.
My guess.
Okay, yeah, the happened to other groups too that have visited here. This is the number one thing I had an issue with that immediately made me call out on Steve, saying that I think there's something suspicious with this guy. He has a camera system, first of all, which I can understand having a camera system just to keep an eye on things, make sure the place is protected, etc. if people are trying to barge in now and again. But also an alarm system which is known to constantly go the heck off. So why is this a thing? Even when you technically have it off or have it adjusted so that people can get in and out when they're visiting, why is the alarm system still going the heck off? It feels like it's deliberate interference to me. To me, it feels like he's deliberately setting up the alarm system to possibly do something, and it's very easy for like a, I assume, cheap alarm system to keep doing that, and for him to interfere with it if he wanted to, just to kind of spook people, get them on edge, etc. That was one of the first things that immediately caught my attention and made me go, wait, what the hell is actually going on in this place? This seems super suspicious and seems like you're trying to interfere with stuff. So that was another thing that got me to call things out, too, at least in the initial video. Again, don't blame the twins on that. That's all this guy's suspicious, weird activity. The things calling out their last name, which they might have been added to the list. Again, don't know how trustworthy or untrustworthy offhand that would actually be.
Facing the backside of the house, the woods.
The woods.
Yeah.
Will we find more answers out in the woods? Or are we going to be in danger?
I'm really struggling.
Mate, I'm not sure how much longer I can endure me that.
The woods, dude.
We're here.
They talk about it for so long, but eventually, surprise, surprise, they go to this epic forest. Hope you left breadcrumbs out for yourself, guys, so you can find your way back.
We were just about to go trying to imitate one of our voices, and then the ball just fell down
And
the
this is another one
stairs.
I have an
The
issue
whole
with.
night that ball.
I don't know about the ball. It could be that the house shifts enough that eventually it would fall off anyhow, but I can't really call that out on that one for sure. But what I can call out on
It's
is
just been
that
sitting up there, dude.
There's a video of one of you guys
Steve.
talking. It's not your voice. Got it right here. Watch.
Seriously, how far away is Steve from the house when he says he leaves the twins to investigate alone?
yes, this is again a question I have. So he's apparently watching the cameras somewhere, Steve, and he hears weird anomaly that sounds like it may be something trying to mimic their voices, but what it sounded like to me when they play it back, it sounds to me more like it's an audio glitch. Again, I don't know how hip and up to par his system is for recording and watching over things here, but it feels to me like it could, again, be like a cheap system that easily messes up, and then he can claim things on. It could just be an audio glitch replaying something from earlier before, and it just happens to sound like it does, and it sounds more and more tinny, which makes it feel to me like it's a actual mechanical glitch and not the spirits doing something to the system. At least that's what it comes off to me as. I can't say for sure, but that's, as someone who's dealt with technology most of their life too, it's what it seems like to me. It really does. It doesn't seem like an actual paranormal evidence whatsoever. And I was very kind of, I don't know, when we were doing the live reaction to the video as well. But also, that's the other question I have, which was just what Side-Eye guy here was about to bring up. How far away is this guy? And it has been brought to my attention again, looking at other things, that if you happen to have a radio or a really strong cell phone or something that has a nice, strong wireless signal that you can actually aim, but in particular radios, if Steve is still somewhere on the property, how do we know he hasn't been outside lurking around trying to find out where the boys are and then just like quietly setting off a radio signal and fucking with their hunt, messing around with things, making the REM pods go off randomly and not actually being real information, and might have added to some of the confusion that's been had trying to figure out anything in the freaking house. Again, how do we know for sure? We don't know. If he's still living around on the property at this point, I wouldn't trust him. He's hanging around too close, and he could be unwillingly, without the twins' information, messing around with everything they're trying to find out. Again, it leads to many questions that I don't have answers for, and leans me towards not trusting all the information we got out of this place because you don't know how much of it is real. And the whole ball thing, yeah, I don't know. It's questionable. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I can't say it for sure either way on that one.
So yeah, we have a Cynthia here.
Can we get a last name for this Cynthia? No, guess not. Anyway, I'm so bored. I'm
previous owner that
tempted to
doesn't
take up
exist
stamp
and doesn't have
collecting
a
just
last
to
name.
inject some excitement in my life. Let's just skip the rest of this shite and go straight to the forest.
That's
Okay,
the
it
other
is a
thing,
little.
too. We've seen some shots here.
To take up stamp collecting just to ingest.
Okay, it is a little.
Skip the rest of this shite and go straight to the.
They say he keeps saying the forest and then only showing this little bit of the backyard. We did see out over this way some more that there is actually at least a small patch of forest out that way. But I do question, this is awfully small patch of woods, just a handful of trees. Where did the guys actually go? I feel like they were misled, maybe, and they only just went so far in and got nervous and decided not to go any further. I can't say for sure. Maybe they did legit head up somewhere over that way, and we just don't see it. So, ergo, we don't know for sure what's going on. By the way, if I can't tell if the mouse has been recording or not, but if the mouse hasn't been recording, I've been aiming to like the north eastern corner here, because that's where there's a lot more trees and stuff out that way. I don't know. They don't really disclose that too well. This seems like awfully small amount of trees to be calling it a forest. And another thing that Side-Eye Guy brings up is that the guys are worried about poison oak being around them. Apparently, from what I understand from Side-Eye Guy doing his research, there's no poison oak in this region. I wouldn't know anything about it. I believe poison ivy is a problem here in the Midwest, in particular northern Midwest, and even I still don't know how to detect it, see it, avoid it, etc., other than to stay out of thick brush unless you have a lot of coverage on your body. And making sure nothing like decent thick pair of jeans, boots, maybe even gloves, long sleeve attire, etc., to make sure that it doesn't get you. That's all I can say on that for sure. And even that's not a 100% guarantee as far as I'm aware, because accidents happen, etc. But yeah, it's a regional thing. Maybe they're used to having poison oak around, and that got them nervous, and they thought they saw it or something. I don't know, but it's a thing, and that's about where he leaves it off. And honestly, I think that's enough information. And again, I don't necessarily blame the twins. The twins go in there expecting information from the owners, and the owners are supposed to give them all the research that they have. The problem is this owner tends to fabricate and stretch things quite a bit. And as you can already see from just a little bit of information here alone, he has stretched things quite long and hard. I can't trust this guy. I wouldn't trust this guy. I wouldn't bother visiting his place until maybe he officially gets some checkups on that basement to figure out whether or not there's actually anything down there. I will say there does seem to be evidence that there's some sort of energy in the house that seems more on the level of tricksterish, more so than malevolent to me, but it's hard to say. But yeah, it just kind of, I think it's a mundane, scary house that an owner is trying to overhype into being like a next level of The Conjuring, and it's just not working, and it's not going to happen. And I feel like the people who have visited here are trying to make the best of what they've got, even though they've been pretty much taken for a ride. But they also want to be nice, is kind of the feeling I get, at least. I don't know all the facts for sure. I don't know what's going on with their group in particular. All I know is I wouldn't trust the House of the Dead, and I wouldn't trust Steve. There's a lot of really questionable things going on in this episode that does make me believe that, if nothing else, I'm very questionable about his motives and what he may or may not have done to interfere with other people who have investigated his House of the Dead here. But that's my thoughts. That's been this video, and this has been kind of my decision to make essentially a replacement for what it would have been the Paranormal Files episode this week. They're postponing for a week because they're getting back from essentially an 8-day run for recording, and they want to make sure that the next video is properly edited and has the proper time put into it, so it's not happening right away because they do the editing themselves. At least Colin does most of it for sure. So we'll have to wait and see on that one next week for them, and this will be my replacement now for Thursday. I hope, again, that people understand. I'm not attacking the twins. I think, if anything, they got misled, and they're just trying to make the best out of it. But I'm also not entirely sure what all actually went on behind the scenes either, so shrug of my shoulders. That's the best from the information I for sure have that I've got. And thanks again to Side Eye Guy for providing at least some clarifying information and pointing the finger directly at this owner again, because he's a shady piece of thing. I really don't trust him. I would not bother with this place. And even if there does seem to be stuff going on there, there's other places to visit and maybe more closer to home and possibly cheaper to get to. But that's going to be it for now. Thank you all again for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And I will see you all again for the next paranormal reaction. And I hope to hopefully get us going on some more video game stuff this week. So, see you all then.